kind of a big deal? It's an absurd joke. Neha, is it possible that the card that you were just thinking of now is on this card? Yes or no? Oh, wait a second. I want to make sure everyone can hear what you just said. What did you just say?
No, I said probably.
Oh, you said, I thought you said probably not. You say it probably is because you know this is a magic show, so it's highly likely. Neha, I'm going to show you. Please tell us in a loud voice, yes or no. Is your card on here?
Yeah, it's on there.
Yes, it's on there. She said yes. Ladies and gentlemen, give Neha a nice big hand. Hold your horses, Neha. Hold your horses. Neha, here's the thing. You notice that she hesitated to give me the answer. I was hoping you could find out a little quicker to not give away, but I'll let them in on the secret. Her card is on this card because all 52 cards are on this card. That is a thank you, sir. Thank you. It's easy to be confident. It's easy to be confident when there's no possible way to fail. Think about it. If we want to celebrate success and we want to be confident about it, we just have to figure out a way to prepare ourselves to have success ensured. But here's the thing. This is partially a lie. There is a way to fail in this, Neha. You know how that is?
No, I don't
No,
know.
I don't know. Here's how it happens, Neha. It would not have worked if you didn't see one of these cards. What card did you see? What was your card? The two, that one right there. It would not have worked if you didn't see the two of hearts. How many twos are in the deck of cards? There's 4 twos, right? Turn the deck face up. Count how many twos you find.
There's no twos.
There's no twos? Let me see that deck. Because every card in the deck is blank. Let's give Neha a nice big hand. You did a wonderful job. You did a wonderful job, Neha. Thank you so much for your help. Oh, Neha, before you go, I do have a parting gift for you. I'm not going to do it again. You're getting a copy of my book. Thank you so much, Neha. One more big hand for Neha. It's easy to be confident when there's no way that we can fail. There was a study recently done at the University of Wisconsin. And again, you don't even need studies for this kind of stuff, but they threw money at this, so we're going to talk about it. They found that people who exhibit greater levels of confidence are more willing to take on risks, and they're also better able to adapt to their circumstances. And this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about managing surprises, becoming experts at managing surprises so we can celebrate success. So it's easy to be confident when we pre-planned ahead, when we thought about all the different ways that things could go wrong, because things do often go wrong, right? The idea with being confident is being able to have a successful outcome even when those things come about. So we have to reflect and think about all the different ways things could go wrong. I learned this the hard way. This was, about 12 years ago. I decided to go on a bicycle ride. Hold your horses. This wasn't just any bicycle ride, though. I was going to ride my bicycle from my home state of Massachusetts to California. That's absurd. But here's the thing. On the 3rd day of this bicycle ride, I had only made it as far as Connecticut. Now it's really, if you know geography at all, Connecticut, it was only about a 40-mile ride from where I started. And it took me, no, it's not good. I like the commentary we're having over here. You're right, it was not good. And when I made it to Connecticut, I made a very important decision that would change my life forever.
No, I didn't get a car.
That certainly would have made it easier, though. I decided to give up. I decided I wanted to go home. Oh, thank you. Here's to settling for average. Just to be clear, that was my stumbling stone, settle for average. By definition, though, the average person is average, right? Most people are average. But here's the thing, when I decided to give up, the reason I gave up was because I was woefully unprepared. First of all, it was November. Terrible time of year to go on a cross-country bicycle ride. So that was number one. Number two that was holding me back was I was in horrible shape. I hadn't actually been on a bicycle since I was a little kid. So I was horribly unprepared. Now sure, I was willing to take on risks, but my lack of preparation made me unable to adapt to my circumstances. So that's how I learned, certainly the hard way, that we really have to become more prepared. In this experience for me, it highlighted a gap. The gap between what I wanted to do and what I was at that time currently able to do. And I've compiled a list of a number of these gaps. If any of you have ever traveled by train, you'll probably recognize the sign, "Watch the Gap." In London, they call it "Mind the Gap." But the idea is that if you're not watching for the gap, you're going to trip over the gap, you're not going to get on that train, and you're not going to be able to get to where you want to go in life. Now, what they don't tell us is we should be watching out for these gaps in our everyday lives as well, gaps that keep us from getting to where we want to go. And when we face these gaps, it can be disheartening, but sometimes we're not even aware that these gaps exist. Sometimes we don't know that there's anything holding us back. Like for me, for years, I didn't know my gap was settling for average until it was glaringly obvious. But sometimes we are completely aware that these gaps exist, and yet we choose to do nothing about it. So I'm going to list off these 8 gaps, and just listen carefully. And if any of these pop out at you, just sort of take note of them. The first gap, number 1,